the British Touring Challenge for next generation competition. We are racing at Knock Hill this week for races 10 through 12. Today I am joined by other fellow former driver Adam Liu, and I am Adam Richardson. That will not be confusing at all. So, got a wet session, as we can see, two drivers off the road simultaneously.
We also have a group penalty already for AMC, who has sped in the pit lane.
Wow.
It's not the ideal start to his weekend.
Dowers, is there any way for you to put the track map up for me? Because I do not have it.
Yes, there is.
Ah, thank you very much. Much better, thank you. So, we're just coming around for the first flying laps. Jackson currently with the fastest lap by nearly 2 seconds. Very impressive early lap for him in these wet conditions. Riding on board, well, on a front camera view of AMC. One place grid penalties were already mentioned, which is not good for him as he is battling for P2 in the championship, equal points with Scott Sandever.
It's a very difficult track to get right, especially in wet conditions, hence the kind of field spread at the moment as people kind of settle in to the weekend.
Yeah, driving this track in the past, it is not the easiest track to learn, not in the slightest.
A lot of elevation changes, blind corners.
So coming through
bumpy, narrow as well.
Coming through the final corner for Aaron McFall. Well, this lap put him. Oh, are you on Jackson now? Oh, never mind.
It was Jackson Turner.
Oh,
but speaking of Mr. McFall, we'll highlight him now as he comes towards the line to start his flying lap in the BMW.
Okay, as we were talking about that then, Aston Lewis, the incredibly dominant driver of the season, goes over half a second clear of Jackson Turner. Rain not looking as bad as it did a few minutes ago, so maybe
cooling off a bit. So
yeah, just over 6 minutes left of this session, so
it could be a case of the last one across the line is your pole sitter for race 1.
Yeah,
Aston so far has dominated the championship, winning
over 60 points clear.
Yeah.
As the driver in front of him goes off through the final corner. Where will this lap put Aaron McFall?
He rode on board all lap
P4.
And he's gone into P4.
8/10 off. Oh, as we see a driver off the track there.
That was Ben, or Disco Mark. Through the same corner, in the same livery car of the BMW, TM Ducky. Didn't look comfortable there.
It did look comfortable, but it did look quite fast, although he's nearly a tenth down on himself.
Suggesting he's lost a lot of time through the last sector.
I mean, the field spread is very close from Jackson down to maybe Ducky, and there's always the potential for Scott to be up there. Tied with Aaron McFall for P2 in the championship, although Aaron is ahead on countback.
Through the last corner, Ducky, we saw through the last split, he is slightly up on his time. Can he improve into the top 5 as he comes towards the line? He goes all the way to P3.
Big improvement. It's a big improvement.
Cracking last sector there.
Aaron McFall as well, within a tenth of Aston now.
Oh, that is major gains there from the Irishman. This is run quite wide there. And that's Aston off in the background as well.
So Aston may be struggling a bit in these conditions, as that's Aaron McFall somehow keeping that out of the barrier. Or is that Ducky? I don't know.
That is Aaron McFall.
Okay, good.
It's very confusing. Aaron McFall.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me who you're showing, which is... Oh, no, it does. It says current... What? It's my first
At least you found that out sooner rather than later. But yes, Ducky, Aaron and Ben all have the exact same livery.
It says currently watching, at least. I've only just noticed that, so on board with Aston now.
Okay, we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning. The current man on provisional pole when he's
Oh, that's very sideways, and that is going
it's a
around
very
someone
difficult.
up.
It's a very difficult section of track, though, especially in these conditions. So easy to make a mistake like that, and quite obviously he is 2.9 seconds down.
Scott here has just backed off his lap, and we saw in front someone.
Someone having a big off. Here we have John O'Mills. Not making too much of an impression in this session so far, but what
Race
can he
him being
do?
the same team as the provisional pole sitter. You see a car coming out the pit lane, almost screwing sideways into Jono.
It's one of the yellow ones. And immediately
A
almost
tidy first sector though
for Jono, yeah. 2/10
and
down. Was it perhaps a bit steady?
yeah, maybe not pushing as hard
Yeah,
as he would have needed.
Aston Lewis is back in the pits. Clearly not happy or something, or maybe he's just going for fresh tyres.
And his direct
Again,
competitor so far in this session has that one place grid penalty, so he has reason to feel somewhat safe so far.
Yeah, he's 4/10 up on Niall Kerrin. I think that's how you say his name.
I believe that is his name.
Yeah.
As Aston doesn't leave the pit lane as his teammate comes across the line and he stays sick.
Doesn't improve. Yeah, his splits through Sector 2 and Sector 3 were pretty good, but...
As you've just seen Ben jump up to P2.
Wow, 300ths off
Massive
of Aston Lewis.
improvements.
Although the weather doesn't look to be improving since around the 6-minute mark. There's just under 2 minutes left of this session. Yeah, what a lap for Ben. Although there is always that capacity to improve from Aston. He'll discover some new line and go about half a second quicker. As we see Jackson half a second off, maybe not on a push lap here.
Aston will be beginning his run. It will be his penultimate lap unless he makes a mistake on his... Well,
yeah, his penultimate lap,
mistake here.
unless he does something very wrong.
We see a lot of cars lining up for what could be their final pushes
Could get a bit
towards the line.
of traffic here. A lot of cars very close to each other. That looks very tidy from Aston.
John O'Meal's cars in
all
line.
of the track. 2/10 down though. So approaching the Sector 2 split, still using all of the track. It's been tidy, but is it quick enough? Are other drivers improving?
The Sector 2 split will show us all. He's improved from last time.
He was a 10th quicker in Sector 2. How is his final corner going to be?
Oh, it's wide. That's going to cost him.
Are you sure? It looked fine to me. They were a little bit wide on exit maybe, but didn't look too bad.
He does lose time.
Are you sure?
Ben will be across the line, following Jono. Can he take it? He's 1.7 down. AMC, we watch him to the line.
6.5 seconds down.
Not on a good lap at all. And there's a lot of traffic now, so a lot of these people are...
Yeah, seemingly no one improving.
Gonna suffer that. Scott fighting Niall.
These are the final laps of the session. How is
Aston's put himself in a good position with no traffic in front of him.
Yeah, it's the ideal situation for him, really. How's his Sector 2 split? 2/10 down again. He's going to have a mega hairpin to guarantee himself pole position here. He was better than last time. Should ride on board with him. Getting right up close to that pit wall. And it's not an improvement.
Ben, he doesn't look to be pushing, and I think that is going to be enough for Aston to take it here.
Yeah, it seems that way. AMC in the pits. Scott in the pits. That is
everyone over the line or into the pits. Aston Lewis takes pole position once again as Aaron McFall disconnects.
So let's have a look at the sector split. So Aston is dominant in Sector 1. Over a 10th, and we've not had time to see it.
Well,
Nice.
Unfortunately, we've had a disconnect for Aaron McFall, who looked like a real competitor.
Oh, I know what he has done. He has returned to
Yeah,
race.
we all know it.
Yep, he's returned to race central.
So we have Aston lining up with Ben alongside him, Noel Kerrin on P3. We have Jackson Turner 4th, John O'Mills in 5th, and Scott Sandever in P6.
Oh, as the cars are revving up now, can you get the track map up again? Oh no, he's back. Can you get the telemetry as well, please, for me? That was as after very defensive on the line. There is contact already between the two drivers on the front row. Lucky to not be a huge incident very early on into this race. Thank you, Dammers, for the telemetry. Oh, there's a crash already!
And it's the two BMWs!
It's Niall and Ben! It's Niall and Ben! Disaster for Ben, caught up in 2 incidents in the first sector.
And what a start for Jackson Turner as he's made his way up to P2. Although letting Jono through.
He must have had a slowdown penalty. From what I heard from the drivers, the track limits are incredibly strict around here. So, no surprise that we'll see quite a few slowdowns. Aston Lewis already 2 seconds clear. That is Scott Sandever.
Scott overcooking a move on Jackson, and it's costed him not only the place but a lot of time.
And he's at risk of being taken by Ben as well, who's somehow back with this pack already. Aston now 2.5 seconds clear. He's running away with it out front, as he has shown.
We've seen this all season. The second he gets a clean lap one, he is off.
He is just
fight behind him.
Yeah, that is Ben.
A mistake.
Big mistake there.
The camera didn't want to really pick it up, but
no,
losing time. It's Jackson going around the outside of Jono here.
Wow.
Good move.
Good move from Jackson, although it's not done yet. It's Scott Sandever as well. Side by side with John O'Mills, going into the hairpin. Who breaks the latest?
Scott choosing not to overcook this one, but there's contact on the exit.
As well.
Both into the gravel. I think Scott may be letting Jono back through.
He may have had a slowdown penalty for going wide. I'm not too sure. That's allowed Ben back into it. We're not going to go 3 wide in turn 1, are we? No, we're not. But that would have been an almighty crash. Ben going down the inside of Scott Sandever, almost forcing him off the track. He's not quite got the move done. Scott gets him around the outside. Oh, but he's gone wide. He's just undone all
and he can't get back on the track either, and that is going to afford Ben.
That's
P4.
It is a big issue with this game in particular. If you go off track, it is so difficult to get back on. You'll lose.
Are we going to see Scott go for the same move for the 3rd lap in a row? He is too far back this time.
Way too far.
For 5th.
Aston Lewis has only pulled out half a second on this lap. Only. He's absolutely running away with it, as there is not really any battles on track as we speak. However, Ben could get close to Jono, and Scott as well could get involved. TM Ducky is well out of it after the collision on lap 1. Sad to see for him. 11 minutes to go in this race, as we see Scott going very wide, having big issues with that corner.
Again.
Big issues. As we see Ben going wide as well, that could be a slowdown.
Struggling to keep it on the circuit. It is a difficult track. It's very narrow, very a lot of blind corners,
and very wet as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this track is hard enough to drive, let alone in the dry. I can't imagine how bad it is in the wet to drive. As we see now, Ben Driscoll going for a move into turn 1. He had a look, but backs out of it. Going through turn 2.
No way he's going to go. He's going to maybe go for a switchback on Jono. He does seem to have the better pace. He looks towards the outside. That door is immediately shut.
Yeah, would have been on for Ben into this section here, but not quite. He has more opportunities around the lap. He's got a good slipstream now, all the way up to the hairpin. So there is a chance for the move to still be on. Doesn't look to be gaining enough though, unless he goes for an almighty send.
He does brake later,
Oh,
and
there's
it's gonna
contact!
put him into the rear of Jono's Renault.
But he gets a much better exit. What an exit from Ben Driscoll.
Made that look easy.
He did as well. Must have bogged down a little bit for John O'Mills. And yeah, Ben is clear going after Jackson, I think, because Aston is no longer pulling away out front as I say that he pulls 4/10.
It made a small mistake by Aston now. Although Jackson now is only 2.5 behind.
Have we had a slowdown from Aston?
It looks as if that has been the case, because the time is going drastically back up again. He's 1.1 seconds down on his best lap. There has been a mistake of some sort here.
Yeah. But even a small mistake will not falter Aston Lewis. We're a third of the way into this race. 3.5 seconds clear. Dominating out for a fastest final sector as well, just to top it off.
I do believe Ben is closing in on Jackson Turner.
Ben has had a very good pace today.
If he can qualify towards the front, which he did in this race, he just got caught up in incidents.
300.
He
was 300ths off Aston. This could be a very tasty battle going into the second race. Well, after the second qualifying, if he can repeat his heroics. Still 2 races to go though. Still an extra 38 minutes 47 seconds left of racing. Yeah, Ben is catching up very quick. Is there another mistake from Aston there?
He's now 2 seconds. We can see him in front clearly from the bonnet of Ben's car.
Aston Lewis having a few issues maybe. Ben is within 3 seconds now and going very quick. He's all over the back.
Oh, that's too quick into turn 1 though.
Yeah, a bit too ambitious there from Ben Driscoll.
He has the pace. He has 8 minutes to go. Just recoup.
Something has happened to Aston.
Can be on. Yeah, Aston now just 1.2 seconds in front. This could be a 3-driver battle for the lead. A 3-team battle for the lead as well.
Yeah, Jackson now within a second of Aston. Ben just dropped back a little bit. A few mistakes starting to creep in. But...
and Aston's completely off.
Is he having... That looked to me like wheel issues.
That was not something he's done by mistake. That looks like something's gone wrong.
That looks like wheel issues to me, as we see Ben and Jackson going side by side in turn 1.
They both... No, Jackson keeps on the track
perfectly.
Ben goes up wide.
Only 3/10, another brilliant exit for Ben. What is he doing on corner exits? Because he is working out and then some. We have Jackson Turner in the Mercedes versus Benjamin Driscoll in the BMW.
The big old German battle.
The old German battle.
Between 2 Brits. As Ben looks to send it down the inside.
How is there no contact?
He's forced himself into the inside. And he's made the move on corner exit. We've seen that before. Ben Driscoll takes the lead of the race for the first time in BTC. Ben Driscoll leads a lap here at Knockhill.
Surely he's led a lap before this season. He's been up there in terms of pace.
Not that I can recall. If I'm wrong, I apologise, Ben. I'm very sorry. And we should talk about Ben. We'll promote his 24-hour Le Mans series, which he's supporting for charity. Yeah, it's a very good thing he's doing.
Very, very good thing. All the sign-ups have been done. There's a date set, if I'm correct.
I believe it's the 12th of December?
I thought it was the 9th of December.
It's around then. We're not the best at promoting things, but make sure you...
Early mid-December.
Make sure you support it. Have a watch of it and donate if you can.
Yeah, raising money for Teenage Cancer Trust. It is a very good cause and should be a very enjoyable race. I myself have taken part. Dammers sadly isn't. Oh, as Ben goes off in turn 1.
It should be a good race though. And speaking of good races, we've had one here. Ben has taken the lead. He now needs to kind of clear his mind because we've seen a few mistakes this lap.
Yeah, we have seen a few mistakes, and in the background, Aston Lewis is catching up a bit.
Re-emerging.
He's emerged.
He's got his bumper
hanging
off. His chances of winning here hanging by a thread, but he won't give up. He's got 5 minutes to go, and he is catching on the 2 leaders as we speak.
This is what he's going to do. He's going to bump Jackson in the rear to the point where it takes his bumper off. Weight reduction. That's how he'll win this.
The mentality of a winner.
Although he's dropped back to Ben, he's catching Jackson though, I think. Jackson starting to fall into the clutches of Aston, who
focused on the leaders so much. There is a heavy battle going on here as Ducky has fought his way back to the pack.
How has this happened?
He's got past Jono, and now Scott is in his radar.
Wow. He was 18 seconds off, he's now 11. Is he fit? No, surely he's not fit like wet tyres or something. Or slicks. He could have pit, because he wasn't that far off in his look at Ben. He could have changed his tyres, you know.
It's a possibility, unless we've just seen a lot of mistakes from this pack who have dropped 12 seconds behind the leaders.
He's gained 6 seconds on the leaders.
Some insane pace. It was like going
3 wide into the hairpin.
Ducky gets past Scott and then he covers the move off, and that is a position gained for Niall Kerrin. Aston is going for the move on Jackson.
Oh, there's contact. Jackson off the road.
Jackson forced off, and Aston takes back P2 in controversial circumstances.
Jackson will not be happy in the slightest without Ben controlling things out front. But Niall is gaining
things out front, but this is Aston Lewis. He has pace.
He has pace, but not much over Ben.
We'll see how much of that he gains over the next couple of laps. 3 minutes to go. It's approximately 4, maybe 5 laps.
Niall is now 2 seconds clear of Scott and Jono.
They were having their own little battle? Not quite. Jono dropped back as soon as the camera picked them up.
Well, it was, 2 seconds clear for Niall. Somehow got himself into P4. If there's a contact at the front, which are all very separated, so I don't think there will be. Oh, but there is Aston going off though. Jackson will be happy to see that as it brings him back in contention for P2. Well, not much happening on track right now.
Has settled down a bit.
Has a lot.
All for one big ending. Ben is keeping his lead.
Yeah, 4 seconds clear. He's pulled away actually.
In fact, Aston is maybe falling back into the clutch of Jackson again. Jackson, who will want revenge after the move Aston pulled on him going into turn 3.
Surely that bumper can't be affecting his aero very well. Surely.
It can't be doing any good, we know that much.
Yeah. Still no battles on the track. Niall still gaining, but nowhere near enough. He's been in.
If there was another 10 minutes to go, he could become a factor for the podium here, but unfortunately time is just going to run out on him. It's Jackson giving it everything to get towards Aston once more. He's within a second of him now. He brakes late going into the last corner, uphill, gotta get the traction. He's lost time a little bit.
Yeah, Aston's been very good for traction. He would have been leading this race comfortably if it wasn't for that issue he had. We don't know what issue it was, but he had a similar issue at Donington in IndyCar on Thursday where he just went straight on at the hairpin. So I would suspect I'd suspect a wheel glitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a throttle issue or whatever. A bit of battling on track now between John O'Mills and Scott Sandever. They've been at it
Battling
all race
for the
against
wooden
each.
spoon here in P5 and P6. Jono maybe looking for a different line, getting out the spray. He is going to send it to the inside. Scott gives him the room. Jono goes through. Scott
Still side by
is going
side though.
to
It's a bit of
pull
a switch back there. Side by side into the hairpin. Could we see a touring car move here from Jono? He looks to send it.
Scott gives him the room.
To give it the
But that
room.
inside line has worked time and time again, and Jono looks to have done it again, but Scott on traction has pulled back ahead again.
We're on to the final lap of the race now. Lap 17. Ben Driscoll has looked very comfortable out front. Going into the final sector is, I believe, a first win for him. I'm not too sure.
It will be his first win.
His first win of the season in BTC. And Benjamin Driscoll is your winner of race 1. Very strong race in Knockhill.
To him.
Apollo Aston Lewis P2, Jackson P3. What's happening with this battle at the rear? Scott looks to be ahead, but can Jono do anything? No, it does not look like it. Here are your
Scott just crossed the line.
So your results for race 1: Ben Driscoll in P1, Aston Lewis P2, Jackson Turner P3, Niall Kerr in P4, Scott Sandever P5, and John O'Mills P6, with fastest lap going to Niall, I think.
Yeah,
53-1,
wow.
yeah.
Pace at the end.
Told you he was quick again. 6 seconds on the leaders.
And it was indeed Ben Driscoll's first win of the season in NGC, in any NGC
Is he
competition.
Oh wow, I thought he'd won a NASCAR race at least.
I just checked the Next Gen Competition Instagram, which everyone should follow, next_gen_competition, and that's his first win.
Very good for Ben. As we wait for the second qualifying session to commence, will Aaron be back in for this race?
I'd like to hope so. He did look a competitor in that quali session he did.
He did look competitive, but
So once again we will have the quali session followed by a 15-minute race, and then for race 3 it is a random grid with a 15-minute race.
I think it's wet as well for that race.
Lots to look forward to.
Aaron is not in yet. No Aaron Paul, it looks like. Still waiting for this one to get underway at the Knockhill International Circuit.
Which
And we have
is in Scotland.
You've probably just learned. So we are getting underway now for qualifying for the second race. Dry conditions for this one.
We'll sort of learn a lot more about outright pace in drier conditions.
So we had Ben Driscoll very quick in that race in the wet conditions. He'll set him up very good for race 3.
He'll also have the confidence having won for race 2 if you're gonna challenge
Okay,
Aston for that
Dammers,
position now.
what is your prediction for this second qualifying session then?
I'm gonna have to say, well, Aston has immense pace, and it's gonna be almost impossible to look past him. But I think Ben will be close. Ben will be close to getting pole. I think we'll see Ducky up there as well. His pace was gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a bold shout here. Niall for pole.
Niall for pole.
As we see Aston straight off. Straight off. I said Niall for pole. He had immense pace at the end of that race. Shame he couldn't do anything with it because of the incident on lap 1.
Aston making himself some room on track. Doing it on track instead of in the pit lane.
Yeah, could you put the minimap and telemetry back up, please? Thank you. As we see who's just about to start their lap now. We'll ride on. We'll ride
Aston's
on.
Teammate, Jono.
We'll ride on board with Jono for this race, this lap. First lap in the dry conditions. Into turn 1.
That's very sideways, but he's kept it on.
Kept it. He wouldn't have kept it if it was still in the wet. Doesn't look much quicker than last race though, as apparently an extreme caution in the middle of sector 2.
Aston maybe waiting for more space. I don't know.
He's got as much space as possible. Very sideways for Jono. Through the extreme caution, Jono goes as we see Aston in our picture. Going off again.
Maybe practicing a toe for Jono here. No, he's off.
He's
that
sideways.
Might be more issues for Aston.
I would not be surprised. Unless he's wanted to crash off someone intentionally. It's a 54.8. That's quite a lot slower than the wet times. As you see, Ducky with a 53.2. Again, that was slower if I'm not mistaken. Jackson 2 seconds off.
Because that seems to be the quickest time we have so far.
Ben 11 seconds off. A big mistake on his lap, I think. Aston having issues. There's only 2 minutes 20 left of this session, and he's in the pit lane.
Scott Sandever way up on his time, sideways coming out of that corner. Jono has invalidated his time. I've just been made aware.
Although it's not good enough for Scott, as Niall is 9/10 clear at the moment.
And he's lost a bit of time in this sector, has Scott Sandever.
We'll need a very good final corner.
Jono again has invalidated his lap, I have been told again.
He's been told twice. He does improve. He had a very good final corner to within 2/10 of Niall. But it's whether Niall can improve. As spoil the party for Scott, Ben improves by a bit.
Still 5 seconds off. Aston is leaving the pit lane. Good news for all Aston fans. Are his issues fixed?
Let's hope so, because he's a big contender for this race. He provides some good entertainment. Jono, is he valid?
We don't know. Is this one valid? Is this one invalid? He comes to the line.
He doesn't improve, so it might have been invalid.
He was invalid. Scott Sandever is the next to invalidate his time. Ducky jumps to the top.
4 seconds. 4/10 of a second quicker. Very good lap from here. Jackson!
6/10 quicker.
Wow.
The times come tumbling down with 47
and seconds. Ben goes another 6/10 quicker.
Jono will be the next to come to the line. Can he now go quicker?
6/10
quicker?
No, following up from the pattern, he will go 8/10 quicker.
He is valid this time around. No one has invalidated the lap this time around as Jono comes to the line. He goes up to P3, 0.6 off. It's not the worst we've seen.
It's still a good lap.
Is not on a lap yet. Scott is on a lap, we believe, just behind Jackson. We'll see them both come to the line.
Tied to the line for Aston. Aston might not get a lap in here.
He isn't going to, I don't think. Jackson comes to the line, doesn't improve. Scott also doesn't improve. Aston doesn't make it to the line. He's out.
He's had a bit of a huge issue there as Aston. He's completely misjudged it. He left the pits with about a minute and a half. So he had plenty of time. It must be a big issue for him though. Jono
will make it interesting, him starting from the back.
Bit down. It looks very good through the final corner. Maybe a bit of gravel on exit. Jono does not improve.
And the last one to come to the line will be Niall Karen.
Niall...
He was once on pole. He goes back up to P2.
0.3 off. It's good.
It's a BMW front row, which looks good on paper, but we remember what happened in race 1.
Because Scott comes up to third. Scott went up to third.
Did he?
Right at the end.
Oh. Good time from Scott there.
Yeah.
Put himself right in it.
Aston with, we think, a big issue. Now, 15 more minutes of racing. Already ready to go. 3 lights. And we're underway again, and it's a horrible start for Ben. It's a horrible start. Niall already into the lead. It's ideal for Niall. Scott having a look at Ben, and there's contact. They're off. 2 drivers off already. Ben caught up in yet another lap 1 incident.
That is such a shame. He looked like the pace. He's going to have to fight back through as Apollo Aston is way off the road. His Jonathan Mills Racing teammate, Jonathan Mills, goes past him.
Niall, a 1.5 seconds clear out front. It's been an ideal start for him.
Contrast to race 1 where he was over 1.5 seconds behind everyone.
He was about 18 seconds off everyone, if I remember correctly.
Big battling further back. Aston trying to make his way through the field. He's passed 2 of them already. Those 2 being Ben and Scott, who had the issue at the very start of the race. He now looks at his teammate, who isn't going to make it easy for him.
No, definitely not. Oh, but... Oh, he's round! This round's a big crash! And there's Ben and Scott as well!
In sympathy.
Oh, I can just imagine Scott's race engineer saying, Aston's come off ahead of you. Copy that.
Copy that.
Copies that.
As Ben bumps the back of Jono.
You've got to feel...
trying to recover.
Niall, 3 seconds out front now.
Round the outside goes Ben. Oh, he's completed the move.
What a move from Ben. That traction he's getting is unbelievable off of that hairpin. However, the fastest man on track at the moment with a 51.7 as his last lap is Niall. Over 2 seconds quicker than Jackson on that lap.
Let's go wide, Ben there. Invites Jono to put a bit of pressure on him. He did have a little look.
Oh, there's contact.
And off the track.
That's what you could call possibly a touring car move right there. As Jackson might have had a slowdown as well.
He definitely did, because Jackson now losing
P2.
Rounds.
Someone who isn't losing ground, however, is Niall Kerry, nearly 6 seconds clear.
Down the inside.
Oh, that's a big contact.
Smash into the back.
Big contact there.
And he's going to complete the move following that. Penalties being thrown about now.
Scott is back. Yeah, Aston and Scott are back.
Jackson P3, followed by Jono, and then Aston. Jono almost rolling the car on the curb as Jackson's off the track looking for the move. Somehow avoided by everyone, but Scott
that's a huge crash.
Soldiers through him.
Scott involved in yet another incident at turn 1. Well,
Scott
at
has
turn 1 too.
stopped poor Jackson.
Oh, good sportsmanship from Mr. Sandover. Oh, we've still got 3 cars. Someone who must be
so
loving
far.
this is quite obviously going to be Niall. Look at his lead.
It's a massive
He's already
lead he's had.
halfway down the straight, and they're only just going through the hairpin. It's been a very good opening 4 minutes for Niall. He's pulling nearly
Been a
2
very good opening 4 minutes for
for the race.
spectators.
Yeah, spectators as well. I mean, at this current trajectory, Scott is going to be involved in about 15 incidents at the turn 1-2 complex.
And we can't even say any of them has been his fault so far. He just seems to be caught up in.
Yeah, he's got no luck whatsoever today.
Look at the times. There is a 1 second penalty for Jono and Aston for not serving a slowdown.
Yeah, it's sometimes better to not serve those slowdowns though, because they will cost you.
The fastest lap is
Niall.
going in Scott's way. No, Scott was 3 tenths faster.
Wow, what?
It shows the pace he has, or when he has
He
the
has
luck
the pace,
to prove
but
it.
fastest man on track at the moment though is Niall Carey. Oh no, it's now Ben. No, it's now Aston breaking into the 50s. Aston could still be a factor in this race, I think. There's enough time. He was over a second quicker than Niall.
He's got to clear Jono. Ben.
Ben will
Quickly.
not make it easy for him, not in the slightest.
Jono going on 2 wheels there in the background as.
Just casual. It's casual. It's just average touring cars for him. Aston up 2 tenths. He's on for a 50.7 this lap. Incredible pace. Incredible fight back. Scott, however, 21 seconds off. He's a 50.8 for Aston. 8 tenths quicker than Niall that lap. Niall's, I think, setting a PB as well. So Niall having to step it up a bit, but Ben and Aston may put him under pressure. That's a bit of a slide from Ben there. That opens the door for Aston.
Sensibly backs out, knowing this isn't the best place to make the move.
Smart from Aston there. He could get a bit of a run into the hairpin as well. He's not too far off. Move could be on here. He looks to the outside. Ben defends the inside. He breaks very late. There's a bit of contact, but he...
more than a bit of contact.
That's... How do you read that one then, Dammers? How do you read that?
Well, it looked like Aston made his intentions clear, wanted to go to the outside, and
I think it was.
I don't know if the 2 cars came together or if Ben showed in the door.
I think it was a bit aggressive from Ben.
It did look that way.
Even still with that incident, Aston still gained on Niall that lap.
8 minutes to go. You have to gain about
a second a minute.
Yeah, a second a lap. About a 50-second lap.
It's doable, I think. It's definitely doable, but he does have that 1 second penalty.
He does. Yes, the factor that in as well. You see, the fastest
No. He doesn't have. He doesn't.
Oh, he has a bit more than a 1 second penalty now. And he may need to gain a bit more than just 1 second a lap if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, possibly about.
He needs some kind of
6
Mario
seconds
Kart shortcut to win.
6 seconds a lap or something.
I think Ducky can rest a bit more comfortably now, knowing
or
that.
I would not be surprised if Aston appealed that, because it's not common you get a 30-second penalty.
Given he's not coming to the pits or jump started, I'm not too sure what he could have got that for.
Possibly illegal overtake on Ben after Ben shoved him off.
If that's the case, then that penalty is very appealable.
Very appealable.
He's
On
now
that
5.9 behind.
on that
so
lap,
he's-
he was 1.3, no, just 1 second quicker. Just about, no, 0.97 seconds
And
quicker.
already the gap is down to 5.7 when the lap started it was at 5.9, although it's back up to 5.9.
Can I just direct your attention? Jackson and Scott are battling at the back. For the
Scott no
wooden.
longer with a bumper, following a big incident with Jackson.
Apologies about that.
Through the right-hander. Scott not gaining too much ground to go for the move into the very uphill hairpin.
Yeah. On that lap, Niall stepped his pace up a bit. He's only lost a tenth to Aston. As there's a lap. I know. Never mind. Niall half a lap ahead of these two. Around.
That goes to show his pace and the instance we've had in the race. That is not looking healthy from Scott there.
Bit of porpoising. You might need to see a chiropractor after that one.
Oh, Jackson has a slowdown, I think. Oh, Scott also has a slowdown. Both cars slowing down. Nothing gained.
Scott doing a lot of things for sympathy today. He crashed with Aston in sympathy. He slowed down with Jackson in sympathy. Yeah. He also... Yeah, it's not been a good race from Scott. He's shown he has pace. He's in the 54s now, but he's been in the 51s for most of the race.
Yeah, at one point did have the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah. Update on the battle for the lead. Aston did gain 8/10 on that lap and is up on his best lap. What is his best lap?
We saw the gap was at 6 seconds. The next lap it was at 5.8, then 5.4. It's now 4.3. As he comes to the line, we can see his lap time.
54. It's a second quicker than Niall.
400s off his best.
Wow.
His best lap being a 50.7. Niall's best lap being a 51.5.
Wow. This is
shows you the average pace these guys are doing here.
This is some Adam Richardson qualifying pace I'm seeing here. Oh, and a mistake there.
He's gonna need less of that though. Less of mistakes like that.
I heard that Adam Richardson also needs less of that in IndyCar.
Yeah, he needs exactly that and a bit more luck in the races.
I wonder who this Adam Richardson fellow is.
I have no idea.
No idea. Not a clue.
4.7 is the gap now. I lost a bit of time due to the mistake, but 3.5 minutes to go. It's going to be tight.
I think Niall might have this. Niall half a second quicker on that lap. 3.5 minutes to go, plus maybe one lap, if depending on how close they are to the line or something. If they cross, it could be a case of if they just about cross it, which last race they was that, although they were about 2 seconds a lap slower in that race due to rain. Next race, of course, having
now below 4 seconds. Yep.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The next race, of course, being random grid, although that won't mean as much as it could do with 6 cars. Who do you think will be on pole for that race, Stammers?
It's a pot of luck. I'm going to go for Scott Sandover. He needs a bit of luck.
I'm going to go with Jono on pole. Been very quiet as Jono this race.
I said Scott needs a bit of luck. He's got a penalty. 1 second. That will cost him his battle to not come in last place.
Oh, the gap between the front just for a split second went under 3 seconds. It's back under 3 seconds. Could Aston do this? He's got a 33-second penalty.
Whatever he does, he won't be able to do it on track. It have to be decided in the steward's office whether or not
I
he
mean,
wins the race or whether or not he keeps P2.
I
Because
mean,
at the moment he's falling all the way to the back.
at this rate, he's gonna finish a whopping P6 out of 6.
Which just does not seem deserved. We'll have to see what he did to get
Yeah.
that penalty home.
On that lap,
however.
Aston a second quicker.
He is not giving up.
Niall will be incredibly nervous, I feel. 2/10 up on his fastest lap though, Aston. What is he on for? A 50.5?
Yeah, 55. It would be a 50.5 this. As long as he kept it through the last corner. If he comes to the line, this lap is... it's a 10th down by the end of
He
it.
had a horrible final corner. What? What did he do on his final lap? He's still a 50.9.
Yeah, it's fast lap, still a 50.7. Ducky's... has
Still a
improved,
51.
I feel. Wasn't it?
No,
Was
it was...
51.6 last time?
No, it was 51.5, I feel.
Okay. Oh, it's right there now, though. Whilst we were looking at that, it's
1.1
just 1
seconds.
second.
It depends whether this is the final lap or not. 33 seconds to go. It's going to be
This is not going to be
tight.
the last lap. There's going to be one more while you're on this. Surely.
And the gap is under
Ducky
a
second
second.
off his fastest lap. Whilst there being a second between the two drivers, there's going to be another lap here. Aston will want to win the race on track. When it comes to the steward's office, it may be another result.
1 second separates them. The gap on that lap was 3/10 in.
On to the final lap. Aston will push like mad to get right behind
When doesn't he push like mad? He always pushes. It's incredible to see it. He's just
maybe pushing too much like
pushed
mad.
a bit too hard. We think Niall has this now.
No, you just have to pick your breaking point. No different than before, and you are
A winner.
an NGC BTC race winner.
Completely unrelated, but Aston did have a look for the move just then.
Yeah, I did see that. As to the line, Niall Kerrin is
What
another
a
win
race!
for BMW.
What a race
Niall
that
wins.
was! What a race!
Chaos start to finish as Aston.
Oh,
Now he's gone up to him.
what a hit, son! What a hit!
Further back, Jono took the final place on the podium. Well,
Hey,
he's
takes
going to
P2.
take more than that, considering Aston's penalty.
Ben from nowhere gets the podium.
Provisionally, Ben is on the podium. Jackson to the line. He's without a penalty as well, so he could slot ahead of Aston provisionally. He does. Scott is more interested in cones and grass as he cuts the daisies across the line. I think he stays P6.
P6, I'd imagine so. Yeah, he does. Yeah, brilliant race there for Niall. Although Aston, look, by a huge margin, gets the fastest lap.
And we believe he'll be a P2 by the end of it. That result should change following his penalty removal. If that does get removed.
What a race that one was, though. Entertainment from start to finish. You had the storyline of Aston from nowhere. Just get there.
From nowhere to everywhere, really.
Yeah.
Including Niall's rear mirrors for the last lap.
Although Niall kept it clean. Ben has disconnected. Oh my.
Another one bites the dust. Should get back in for the final race. Which can only be more chaos due to the random grid.
And wet weather, I think. Oh, come on. Can we just... Jackson has sent me a photo. It's of the standings. Ben has rejoined back in his yellow BMW. Random grid, this is going to be... Still no sign of Aaron McFall as well.
Which is a real shame.
It's a real shame, he looked like a real competitor.
Do we have any early predictions as to who could win this without knowing the grid?
Aston. I cannot look past Aston.
That does seem to be the favourite for every race.
Oh no, it's clear for this race. It's not wet.
Oh.
Oh.
To be fair, the race in clear conditions, the racing was a little bit better. So
I wouldn't say a little bit. I'd say quite a lot better, mate. So you predicted Scott on pole. I predicted Jono on pole. You'll need to put on the map and telemetry for me as well.
I can do that.
Thank you, man.
To prepare for the final race of the trio. The random grid. What will be the order?
It's Jackson. Scott on the front
pole.
row. Ben in last.
Aston lines up P3 with Jono, Ducky and Ben. The BMWs didn't get lucky there. Jono Mills Racing have the second row to themselves. And Fast Formula on pole with Chundersteer Racing in P2.
Wow. And we are underway for the final race. It is a good start from Jackson, another good one from Scott. So piling into turn one. Jackson is clear. Scott is looking okay.
It's another incident, but they get through it. Can everyone get clear on lap one? It looks like they have. This is the furthest they've got without incident so far.
Wow.
Oh, Scott being shoveled up by Aston. They get...
Torrey car move, mate. Torrey car move. Whoa, that was scary. Jackson.
There is a cone being killed in the background, but luckily all the cars still facing the right way.
I don't think that'll be the same after probably turn one.
Around the outside we've seen Ben try this move
Bonk.
before, and he
How
does get
he
it done
got
with
clear?
a bit of contact. Aston all over the back of Scott. Jackson will want him to hold on for as long as possible because Jackson's pulling clear of Scott Sandever in the Chundersteer Racing car. Oh, what's a move from Aston to get to the inside! I don't think Scott saw that one coming. Ducky will take advantage of that as well to get into P3, but Scott's having none of it.
Scott is having none of it, but he has to take it. Very good move for Aston there. Aggressive, but he kept it clean. What a move. Got to be move of the day, right?
About it.
There's got to be move of the day, surely.
Oh, that was move of the day, no doubt about it.
Okay, let's see Aston set a 50-second lap then.
The gap to Jackson is 2.1 at the end of the second lap. We'll see how that develops over the next couple as Ben looks to get past Scott, who's being shoveled to the back of the grid.
It is a very good lap from Jackson, to be fair. It is a low 51. So it might not be a case, as Aston has already gained several tenths.
Oh, Ben very sideways. Keeps hitting a straight line, but
does he?
No, Bollard, and now he's gone.
And
well,
Scott,
it took a while.
And Scott hasn't gone off in sympathy. What is this?
And Scott's in fact got past Ducky. It's Ben's teammates. Back up to P3.
That BMW is getting brilliant traction out of that hairpin.
It does look a good car to drive.
Aston 8/10 clear on that lap.
Scott's hit the wall. Scott has hit the pit wall. Can he defend the inside? He's not on the inside anymore.
Oh, that's a crash for Ducky. And he collects Jono.
It's in fact turned him back the right way round. Deja vu as a BMW sent spinning across the track.
The gap for the lead is just over 1 second as we see a BMW off in the background.
Niall Karen.
Aston up again. The gap is now under a second. This could be a titanic battle for the lead going into the second third of this race. It's a faster lap for Aston. It's the fastest lap of the event so far. A 50.743.
Look at the way they've pulled away from everyone else.
Oh wow, they are 8 seconds clear of Scott.
It's the fourth lap, and they're almost 9 seconds clear from the rest of the field. This is immense pace being shown here. Jono has received a 30-second time penalty. I'm not sure that's for, but the Jono Mills racing cars cannot get away without penalties.
This track and race 2 and race 3 are shaking hands right now, giving drivers a 30-second penalty. As we see now, 2/10 separate the leaders. As we see the other drivers going through the hairpin, they're side by side going into turn 1 now. Aston
put off the same move. He's lining it up to go there. And he's just a bit too far back.
Wow, there's big climb. The leaders have crashed! The leaders have crashed!
They both corrected though, and they're coming back on side by side. This is drama that we did not expect. Jackson keeps the lead, and it's still just 2/10 separating them.
Oh, wow.
What did you make of that?
Wow. Big mistake from Jackson going off into the gravel, spinning into the path of an oncoming Aston, who looks to send it down the inside of the hairpin. Will Jackson get the switchback?
But there isn't one available.
Very aggressive on the brakes there from Aston. Wanted to confirm, yes, I am in the lead. Will Jackson look for anything into turn 1? He's too far back once again.
And Aston pulling out in front, but that's wide,
very wide, and there's more collisions.
There was a bit in that following Aston's move on Jackson in race 1. Jackson back in the lead.
Wow. 9 minutes to go of this race. We're only a third of the way in.
Jackson looking to win his first NGC race of the season.
Wow, that is surprising.
That is surprising. We wouldn't have seen that a couple of seasons ago.
Aston goes down the inside. We're going to go side by side into turn 1 once again.
Who's bravest on the brakes into turn 1? Surely they can't go side by side down the chicane. They're going to try it.
It's Jackson. Oh, Aston's there too. Jackson
covers off the inside.
Is there going to be another switch
He keeps on track, but the pace is with Aston here.
Yeah, I told you they'd stay side by side down the hill. Oh, and he's been forced off. He has to finally concede that place.
But with the hairpin coming up, the best overtaking place, he looks too far back though.
Yeah, very good couple of corners there for Aston.
Aston slows it down the gap corner. Jackson does look for a little bit of a send, trying to feel his mirrors, trying to put Aston off.
But in other news, the pack is now once again 9 seconds behind.
We've also seen Jono has got past Scott for position, and Ducky falls behind Ben. Ducky also just gets a penalty of 1 second there.
Not quite 30 seconds, but
yeah, Jono's still on 30.
Aston's
off.
Oh, Aston's off. Whoa.
That could be a slowdown because he had to cut the corner. He is slowing down. He's slowing down a lot. He's slowing down mid-corner, which prevents Jackson getting past.
That's cheeky.
Is Jackson going to send it though? He might have to. This could
He's
be
going
Jackson's
it.
sending
He's
it.
sending
Here he
it.
comes. And they're side by side once again, going into turn 1. Jackson on the inside this time. Aston on the outside. Aston pulling ahead, squeezing Jackson towards the grass as they take the racing line.
Surely we get to see another send. There's a send and Aston's
off!
off!
It's an incident!
It's an incident!
Aston's wheel has had another issue. Can he keep it on the track? Can he keep it in P2?
Can he keep it on? Can he keep it on the track?
Yeah,
Same as he's in the wall.
I meant, can he keep it in P2?
As Jackson now has inherited a 5-second lead. I can't wait.
Aston is in a position where he has to chase down the win. This could be the first weekend in which we don't see Mr. Apollo Aston on the top step of the podium.
But there is still 6 minutes. This could, if Aston has the pace he has shown all race, he could be back with Jackson. He will be driving angry now. 35 seconds. No, 4.1 seconds. He's gained a load already. Jackson is now slower than Scott, who's also a P3. Is up into P3.
Yes, Scott
we've got
back into P3.
We've got a battle between Niall. Basically, the battle for third.
Aston goes off again through that corner. That's not helping him. He's going to have to slow it down again. He doesn't.
He might as well take the 1 second penalty, I feel. Or hope it's gone because of the hairpin. Because slowing down on the brakes just for normally does serve the slowdown. So yeah, Ben Driscoll now looking to chase everyone down. So I still can't believe
fastest lap currently, Aston by miles.
Yeah. Oh, no, not by miles, only by 400ths.
Who else is in there?
Ben.
Ben's, what, 4 tenths off? No, more than 4 tenths.
400ths off best lap.
I'm really confused by that. Okay, moving on.
Okay. Aston... Is he
Aston
slowing
is
down there?
Yeah, he's had another slowdown.
Oh no.
This isn't looking good for him.
It's not.
He's going to be
looking
feeling
good.
robbed by whatever issue he's having. That's twice now.
3 times.
And it's not what you want to see. We were having an amazing battle out front.
That was Titanic. There's still the possibility though. If anyone can, Aston can.
Of course, yeah, there's no doubting in Aston's abilities. Just look at the results from this season so far.
Yeah, win after win after win after win
Jono is
after
back
win.
into P3. If he can keep that due to his penalties, however, is another question.
Yeah, currently up into about P8 in a 6-car race because of the penalty.
This penalty so far, he goes down
4.2.
to P5 in the other race. How far back?
Yeah, Aston, we can confirm, finished 17th in race 1 because of his penalty in race 2.
However, Aston, we can confirm, has received a 2-second time penalty.
Oh,
That looks like his charge is over, and that's such a shame.
He's on a charge though. Maybe, just maybe, him and Jackson will be involved in another incident. Jono might not be out of this. Might
is the question, but if he's gonna get himself into it, he's gonna have to break away from the trail of cars he has in his train so far. There's one of them off, Ducky in the background.
Actually, no, I think Jono is out of it with his penalty that goes back about 4 races.
Scott looking for the switchback, but we've seen Ben's traction all day, and he almost goes into the back of Scott Sandever.
Scott, they're stacked up now. Ben might go for it to turn 1. Scott with a bit of a block there. Scott defends the inside. Does he look for the outside? No, he doesn't. That's off for Ben. There's a spin for Ben. Does he collect the other BMW? No, he doesn't. Aston is gaining. Aston's gaining. He set a 50.4. A 50.4 on the last lap. That's a second and a half quicker than Jackson.
That we've seen so far. He's going to have to gain even more though. He's got 2 minutes to go. He's 2 seconds behind with the 2-second penalty. It's going to take quite something. But you never know if he can catch Jackson and they get battling. You never know what can happen mid-battle that can give him a 2-second advantage.
Or Jackson could get a 2-second penalty himself, although he's been very cautious with that this race.
Smartly so.
Smartly so, a very wise decision there. He doesn't want to be like Jono.
He's not really like Jono in terms of penalties. That is. No
I mean,
Jono.
no offense to Jono. 1.4 seconds the gap now. Like Aston has just turned something up. Although 51.1 on that last lap, he's nearly within that second. Aston with a 50.9, he's still a second quicker on that lap. Less than a minute to go.
50.9.
It's the penultimate lap.
Jackson did a 52 last time. Yes, that was. Oh my. Jesus, almost a second slower than Aston. I'm not saying that's a slow lap, but that is Aston's pace coming into advantage there. We're going to have 2 more laps, I believe. Yes.
No,
be 2 laps,
yeah,
surely.
this and the next lap left. Can Aston send it in this hairpin?
He's
good.
Good.
No, he isn't.
Oh, he just.
Switch back though.
There we go. Bit of contact, leaning on Jackson's Mercedes.
Aston has 1 lap now to get ahead and to pull 2 seconds. It's not out of the question. It's difficult for sure. His bumper is hanging off once again. He's going for the move. He's going for the move.
He's going to push Jackson to the gravel. He's got the move done, but he hasn't got the advantage of 2 seconds.
That's controversial. He's got to get.
He's doing what he can to give Jackson a 2-second deficit and take the lead, but it's not going to be enough. Surely not.
Surely not.
In fact, Jackson is right back on him.
It's going to be
immediately so.
It's not going to be quite enough. It's going to be another spectacular race at Knock Hill. Is it? Whoa. That looked to be a bit of a Hail Mary there from Jackson. But it's going to be Aston Lewis who wins it on track. But in the stewards room, Jackson Turner wins race 3.
Jono Mills will be in P3, but he has a penalty, Ducky has a penalty, Scott has a penalty. So how does this one turn out?
I have
Jono
no
crosses
idea.
the line in P3, but Ducky gets the podium after spinning out and being in last place for most of the race.
Wow.
Takes P3, Scott P4, Jono P5. Jono P6, sorry, I forgot it was 30 seconds. So he may get that removed and get back onto the podium.
Possibly.
Aston, in fact, got a 4-second in the end, so he needed more than just 2.
Yeah. Either way, what an event that was.
That was very fun indeed.
That was
I have enjoyed this a lot.
I very much enjoyed commentating on this. If you liked what you saw, there is Project IndyCar on Thursday. It will be racing at Brno, commentated by Jackson Turner. The race winner just then. On Monday there is NASCAR GT. I'm not quite sure what track it is, and on Tuesday I'm not sure if it's going to be commentated on, but we have Dirt Rally.
And your next suggestion of BTC will be the Tuesday after that.
I have been Adam Richardson. You have been Alan Liu. It's been a very good race to commentate on, and we'll catch you next time.